Right, so this was a question where they did a questionnaire to 200 different people. So they questioned 200 people and asked them, how many people are there in your household, including you? And there were 16 people that only lived by themselves. They lived alone. There were 34 people that had 2 people in their household. 90 people had 3 people. Mum, dad, kid, or mum, dad, grandparents, something like that. There were 36 people who had 4 people in their household. There was only 12 who had 5. Now it's starting to tail off a bit. There was 8 people who had more than 6 people living in that household. And there was only 4 people that had 7. And there was nobody on top of that. So if we want to check that we've not made a silly mistake here and that they added up the numbers wrongly, we check that we add up all of these frequencies, 16, 34, 90, 36, 12, 8 and 4, and we should get the number of people that we asked in our questionnaire, which is 200. The relative frequency, we actually define that as being the answer that we got. There was 16 people that had 1 person in their household. Instead of keeping it as 16, we can turn it into a percentage. 16 divided by the number of people that we asked in the questionnaire times 100, okay, gives you the percentage of 8%. So we get the decimal by dividing 16 by 200 as 0.08. We turn it into percentage by multiplying by 100. 34 divided by 200 would give us the decimal 0.17, giving us the relative frequency of 17%. And once we've worked out these relative frequencies, here we get 0.45, which would be 45%. 36, we're just halving the numbers here, notice. 36 divided by 200 would give us 0.18, which is 18%. 12 divided by 200. Think of it, it's easy to turn it into percent if we divide top and bottom here by 2, giving us 6 100ths, which gives us the percentage directly, 6. So if we just divide the top number by 2, we get the percentage directly. 8 200ths will give us a percentage of 4%, and 4 200ths will give us a percentage of 2%. So the relative frequency is when we just change these numbers, the actual frequency, divide by the total number of people we asked and turn it into percentage. And then instead of plotting the number of people in the household, we can actually plot on the y-axis, we have relative frequency. In percentage. And in the bottom axis, we have number of people in the family. So we had 1 person in the family, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, and 7 people. And then instead of having 0 to 200 here, we actually have a nice scale here. The largest percentage was 45. So we can actually make our top number here 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and 0. And then we just fill in the data. There was 8% that had 1 person in the household. So we fill in a block diagram of 8%. Then 2, there was 17%. Had 2 people in their household, and we fill in. So this is how we do a block diagram and how we calculate relative frequency, okay, and make a table using percentage instead. It's just a slightly different way of representing it. Instead of having on our y-axis 0 to 200, we instead have it as a percentage instead.